We've got a pretty full field this morning. Most of the F3 category drivers have shown up, and we have some fill-ins from the F2 category as well. Brett, do you want to give us a run-through of the field today?
Yeah, sure. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are around the world, and welcome to the broadcast. So today, looking at the lobby, we have Koala, better known as Eric. I'll have to look up his last name later down the road. And the Ferrari, we have Billy Booth, better known as Bouger 89, Ludwig Sell in the Force India, Beardy. Bratby 87 is Mark Bratby. Cross Drain X3 is Sebastian Splicer. Kluneberg 86 is Matthew Ayler. Genia Bondarenko. We're going to about run out of time, so I'll carry that on once we get into the lobby. But it's like you say, it's the first live stream of the Transnation Formula One World Championships F3 category, and it's looking like it's going to be an interesting one. Of course, we're here round 4 of France. We did change up the calendar this season for a bit more spice. Originally, we meant to have Brazil as round 2, but circumstances changed that. But yeah, we'll see how these 13 drivers tackle the brand new circuit of 2018. So actually, I can carry on now. So we got Amarul Azriaf, GD King, TS Jao in the Sauber with El Gloria, the Titan, in the second Mercedes, better known as Eduardo Rogers. Realism is Mark Donaldson, Ice, Joshua Banks. Of course, some of these drivers are in F2 as well. Connor Paisley, C Paisley 096. Melvin Storbaka, Sarah May, F1 driver, the only F1 driver in the category to take part in this F3 race. And then finally we have Ballistic B22, who subsequently won the first round of the championship in F3 in Bahrain.
Bailey Ford is his name, and that rounds out our 14 driver field for this race. And as you can see on screen now, the qualifying has started. Just a short qualifying session for this race, 18 minutes. So the drivers will have time to do 3 runs on the ultra soft tyres, depending on what they're trying to qualify on, and of course their tyre selection as well for the race. Brett, what do you think is the optimal tyre choice and trying to qualify on today?
I would say primarily, if you're looking to do the one stop, you'll want to qualify on the super softs and make it to the softs. Primarily, you could take the ultras to a certain number, but you're looking at about lap 8 before you change from the ultra softs to the softs, and even then you're looking at a very tough long stint on the soft tyres in the race. So if you want to go on the 2-stop, you start on the ultras. If you want to qualify on the do the 1-stop, you'd be on the supers. So we've got a few drivers look like they're already giving us an
watching
indication what they're doing.
Mark Bratby is the first out on track. He's gone for the softs actually, so he's gone for the hardest compound tyre available. So interesting choice there by Mark. Maybe he went with the harder choice of tyres for the race. We'll just scroll down the field a little bit and see what other tyre choices we got. We got Matthew Kluneberg.
Sorry to interrupt you there. We just had a moment there. Josh Banks just excessively weaving in front of Connor. No, not Connor actually. It was Sebastian Spice. So bit of almost could have been an incident at the start of qualifying, which isn't usually good, especially if a grid place penalty takes into effect. But anyway, you were saying?
Yeah, Matthew Kluneberg on the ultra softs. We got Josh Ice. He's on the super softs. We got Sarah May ultra softs. GT King Amiral is always on ultra softs as well. Realism, sorry, what's Realism's name?
Mark Donaldson. He's on the ultra softs as well. So a lot of drivers look like they're all running ultra soft. Now we've already got someone off somewhere.
Bouger is super softs, and Eduardo on ultra soft. So bit of a mix for the field. Mark's now started his flying laps, so let's follow him.
The thing about, I think my theory behind what Mark is doing is that he's going for the one stop, but he's looking to try and use the harder compound first, get that out of the road, and then have a faster car at the end of the race, which is not entirely a bad strategy to have. He might not necessarily qualify up the front with this strategy, but at least he's guaranteed to know that he'll be out longer than everyone else, and then when everyone's on the slower softs, he'll maybe chuck on the ultra softs at the end and blast his way through. But, you know, it's a good strategy. Not one I would primarily take in, or it looks like Connor Paisley's already having disconnection issues, but at least he's in the session list, unlike last weekend where he unfortunately missed the ball. But so it's a bold strategy there. I mean, it's just seen Matthew Ayler make just a little tiny mistake coming out of turn 4 there.
We might have a problem though with so Mark's been caught up pretty rapidly at the moment. He's still in sector 3 on his lap, and we've got
and that's Bailey Ford behind him too.
So he hasn't gapped Mark enough for his flying lap, and he's gone up the inside.
Just gone horrendously wide.
Okay.
This is messy. This is really messy.
Hasn't really worked out for either of these drivers on this first run, so hopefully they get a cleaner lap. And as Bailey
still
puts
does
in
a
the
32.1, that's still not bad despite the hold up. And a 34.9 on super softs is too bad. Josh Banks now to the top with a 31.3. So a 34.9 on soft tyres, despite the fact also that
Sebastian bangs in a 131.3 on the ultra softs. It's not
well, actually, and here's the thing too. Here's the interesting thing. So Joshua Banks did his 31.3 on the super softs. So Josh has got a lot more pace he could use if he goes onto the purple stripes ultra softs. But just going back to my point, a 34.9 on the softs compared to Genia Bondarenko, who's done a 35.1 on the ultras. That's still a pretty representable time, despite the fact he did get caught up by Bailey Ford at the end of the lap and had to kind of get out of the way. So
now we've got a few more people on flying laps right now. Amiral's just coming across the line now. What's his time?
It's a 31.4. That's not bad. So Amiral coming out of a pretty reasonable weekend out of Bahrain in the F2 category, where he came up from 11th to 4th at the start, although wasn't the most liked person at the end of the Grand Prix with an alleged dive bomb on Cameron Betts that saw current F3 driver Ludwig Sale take second place, but not bad. So your top 5 at the moment is Sebastian Spicer, Joshua Banks, Amiral Azriel, Billy Booth, and then Bailey Ford, our previous race winner at Bahrain.
Yeah. Now, we've got anyone on flying lap at the moment?
We've got a few drivers.
We've got Ceremony. Just following Ceremony at the moment. He's going into sector 3. Just coming around the final corner now. I don't really know what his pace is like, so this will be interesting to see what he can put up. He goes 5th fastest, not too bad on the ultra softs. He's done 2 laps on those, so
yeah, he's keeping to his having his second. He has 2. We've given him a lot of cheek in the lobbies in the past few days, because he always used to say that he had to do 2 out laps in order to get a good lap in. So he's keeping to his word of having 2 out laps. Still seeing a lot of yellow flags, but I'm gathering that. Here we go.
Genia Bond has just pulled over on the last corner. I don't know what he's doing. I think he's coming into the pits.
I wonder if he's could be out of fuel. It looks like it.
I think so. Low fuel mode there. Mark's still out on track. He's done 2 laps on those soft tyres.
Disconnected due to issues. I'm guessing internet issues, but currently the only driver other than Connor to not set a time yet is Ludwig Sell, and that's quite interesting. Of course, Ludwig initially had pole position for the race at Bahrain, but a glitch occurred where his fastest lap suddenly got reverted to for the 4th fastest time, and because he initially set a 1:28 flat to sit on the top step, and then it dropped to a 28.4, which put him P4, and then of course he had a brake issue at the end. Okay,
Paisley's out now, so he's back in the session by the look of it. Is that right?
Yeah, this must be. He must be back in. But actually, just while we were talking, I actually lost track of this. Mark Donaldson up to P4 with a 31, P3 with a 31.4. That caught my attention.
31.4, yeah. just puts into perspective that 31.3 on the super softs by Josh Banks is looking very tidy at the moment. It's just 700 soft pole. Sebastian's pole time with the ultra soft, so looking very pacey, Josh.
And this is interesting too, because we had a practice last night and a couple of days before that, and the average time roughly, I mean, you were punching in 1:29s, I was punching in the 1:30, so Sebastian, I'm pretty sure, was up the front with a 29.9, so
yeah,
with
he can do much better.
He could do much better, and it's got another sector 3 moment, but I think that's just car slowing down, trying to find space.
Yeah. Alright, Sebastian's back out. We'll just follow Paisley on his flying lap with the broadcast at the moment. Coming into turn 1. Down into 5th gear. Swing around. You want to make sure you don't track extend.
That's quite an interesting approach, actually. I would not have thought 5th gear would have been quite the approach to the corner, but he actually managed to use the gear to turn the car in so smoothly and not have as much wheel spin coming out. So that's quite interesting. And that's actually a really good first sector split, a 25.5 into sector 1. That's actually probably one of the fastest first sectors we've seen.
Yeah, quite a good lap so far from Paisley. Coming into the chicane now of the straight. You just
caught wind of someone straight lining the chicane there.
Ooh,
Not
okay.
sure who it was though. It was a white car, so it must have been one of the Saubers. So we'll just go back to Connor and see where
we're
he's
right
at
on board with Paisley for the rest of his lap.
Hopefully we don't have that glitch. That sounds alright. Oh no.
Ran a little bit wide there. You want to get on the apex as much as you can. This is a tricky corner, and he's ran well wide for that one. Oh, his lap's gone at this point, but see if he can make it.
The first sector was definitely really impressive. So
final corner. Yeah, I think first 2 sectors were fine. Third sector was a bit scruffy there, and he puts in a 1:32.7, which is good enough for 10th place at the moment. So he'll want to go for another lap on these tyres if he's got the fuel to do it. Let's jump back up to Sebastian,
because his teammate Sebastian did a 25.8 into sector 1. So Sebastian 3-10. Oh, here we go. Bailey forward into the 30s.
Ooh, here we go. It's on now. Just going to follow Sebastian for the rest of his lap. He's coming into sector 3 now.
Oh, see, everyone seems to take a really wide approach into the corner.
That's not too bad.
To me, you've got to find the apex at the one point.
Oh no, he's completely bottled. Similar to his teammate, it's undone him.
So it looks like Renault might be sporting a few braking issues, it looks like, because both Renaults now out-braking themselves into that corner. But then again,
see if he's
never been the easiest corner to get right.
See if he goes into the pits. Yeah, he's going back into the pits. He mustn't have the fuel to go for a second lap on those tyres, which is a shame. So, see who else is out. Oh, Ice. Josh Banks is just finished sector 1. Oh, sorry, he's in sector 1, coming to the end of it.
And he's on the ultra soft, so he's decided to change his strategy. 25.2 into sector 1.
This is going to be a quick lap from Josh.
He's got a car in front of him. It's the Ferrari of Billy Booth, so we'll see who's on a run and who's not. So looks like Billy looks like he's on a run as well. And we'll see if anyone else is about to cross the line. Not currently. Alright, hang on. We've got Mark Bratby, hang on. Oh no, he's a balloon too. And Mark's actually put a lot of laps in those soft tyres, so I don't know what's going on there.
I think he's just getting some practice in, to be honest. It's Josh. Let's see if he can nail this corner that's been undoing a lot of drivers in the last few laps. Yes, keeps it nice and tight, not too bad.
So,
well into the third sector.
Oh, hang on. Melvin up to P2 with a 30.7.
Yeah, so the track's getting faster. Let's see what Josh can do here. Hits DRS over the line. He's out of battery though. He still goes second fastest. He's only 2/10 off with a 1:30.4. He had no battery left for the after the final corner, so he was probably cost him a few tenths there, so he needs to be manage his battery a bit better for his final run.
Here comes Eduardo, brilliant run out of the tricky corner. In fact, his teammate Eric is right behind him as well, so let's see what Eduardo does. He had a really good debut in F2 to finish in 8th position in the points, and he's going to report as well. I don't think it was looking quite reasonable. Now finally, Ludwig Sell is finally out of pit lane. So,
oh, okay. Well,
so
he'll be the man to follow.
Waiting. Yeah, it looks like he was just assessing everyone else before he came out on his lap. But it kind of, while it's a good strategy to assess your opponents, you've got to be careful because he's only got 4 minutes, so he's only going to get one run. And if he bottles that run, it's back of the grid. If he invalidates, he's going to start at the back. So he's got to make this count. And actually, Josh Banks just leading someone through there. Now here comes Melvin again. But I think looking at the lap number, he's going to pit because it doesn't look like it's going to be quick enough. And yep, he does abort. So this is showing Melvin's more pace a little bit. I mean, he's struggling a little bit in the F1, still adapting to no assists. He's still giving it a red hot go now. Sebastian's out on an outlap, and he's just his teammate's just now letting him through. If I was Connor, I would have been helping Sebastian with slipstream, but we'll just see what comes out of it. So now everyone's actually pretty much coming into the pits. There's only
Ludwig's just about to go on a flying lap, so we'll just follow him for a bit. Or someone briefly teleported onto the track from pit lane, so no damage done.
So we'll have a look on board. So I'll do an onboard virtual lap. So as you come into turn 1, you want to be so pinnacle on the corner mounting.
He's on the super softs.
Connery. Yeah, much like Connor, he does it in 5th gear through turn 1 and turn 2, and then 5th gear through turn 3, double shifts into 3rd. This is a very interesting line. 25.2 on the super softs. Holy crap, that's impressive. So now it comes down the back straight. You just want to slam down the acceleration, full revs, full ERS, full fuel. Of course, you always do that thing. Now, this corner you've got to get absolutely right, because if you get this one wrong, this one becomes a real mission to get through. Gets through it really smoothly, actually, and gets the power down nice and early. Coming into sector 2, sector 252.9. This is actually going to be quite up there. I reckon this will be in the, if he gets in the 30s on this will be quite a lap. Now coming to the tight right-hander, he positions the car absolutely brilliantly, just gets a bit off camber with the acceleration now into the tight corner.
Tricky corner. Didn't quite get apex, but yeah, still not bad through there. Last few corners now.
Now the final 2 corners, this one is also the same as the chicane. You've got to get this one right or else it's tricky to get through here. Sets it up brilliantly and down the straight, plants the
he's out of battery as well, it's going to cost him.
It's a 31.1 despite that.
Alright, I'm going to go straight to Sebastian now, who's just entering the final sector. Sector 2 was a 25.8. No, sorry, he's on his outlap. I'm sorry. So he's just preparing for his final run. See who else
actually,
is...
no, this might be a flyer, but no, it is a bit slow, so he must have maybe even validated and he's backed off to have another go, but he's...
Who else we got on a flyer? Bailey's on his outlap. Josh Banks is in the pits, not going for a final
Sebastian
run. Josh
might be in trouble here. Sebastian just went heavily wide into one of the, or went offline in the corner, and I wonder if he pits or abandons this lap.
Oh, he's got in someone's way. That's not ideal. It's a Ferrari. Who's in the Ferrari? Might be
it's Billy Booth. So.
Oh, they both started a flying lap at the same time. This is going to hurt Billy behind Sebastian.
Yeah, the driver behind usually...
Oh, he's letting through. Sebastian's letting through.
So this will be...
Alright, we'll follow Bailey on his lap. Our current, he holds pole at the moment. He's going, I think that might have been track extend in the first sector there, though.
It's a 25.4, so overall, the fastest...
Yeah, it was a track extend. He's backed off. Who else have we got on a lap here?
Ludwig Sell is the fastest driver in Sector 1 on super soft tyres. And here comes Melvin. No, that was an outlet, so he'll be starting his flying lap. There must be someone due to finish their lap. Here we go. Eduardo Rose in the Mercedes. Going to come across the line. It's going to be a 30.9. So he goes up to P4. Well done, Eduardo. And Billy had obviously either track extended or...
I'm just trying to see... Oh, we've got a Mural's on a flying lap. We'll just follow him for the rest of this.
Let's see if anyone else is near.
Oh, he's backed off as well. What's going on? No one's really put in a clean run for this final part of qualifying.
And it looks like Bailey didn't improve on that lap, so is still on pole, still will take provisional pole with a 30.2 unless any of these guys that are still running a fast lap can do anything about it. Sebastian's aborted. Here comes Amoral. What's he doing? Position 8. No, he's actually come in, so it just lagged him straight to the pit lane. That was interesting. Now Mark Bratby's kind of changed his game a little bit. And he's elected to go on the super soft instead of the super soft. So currently on a 33.5. Melvin Dubaka to the top with a 29.9. That is incredible. So we've had an upset moment here where Melvin Stubaka in the Alfa Romeo Sauber, originally from the F1 category, has come in to help us with the F3, but he's jumped to the top with a 29.9 to displace the place setter of Bailey Ford. I don't know where Matt's now disappeared to, but we'll press on irrespective of the situation. So here's your grid order for today's France F3 category. And the first of the F3 drivers is Realism, Mark Donaldson in P7. So good job there by the Force India driver. So Melvin Stubaka, pole position, his first of his career. Can he convert it to his first win of his career? We'll be finding that out soon enough. And we'll just see when Matt decides to speak up or whether I need to leave the session and come back so I can... hear him again. I'm not too sure. We'll just do that quickly and I'll be back in a second.
Okay, then. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen, just needed a quick bathroom break there. What a qualifying that was.
Okay, here we go. Sorry, just having a bit of technical drama there, but what a qualifying we had. I mean, that was incredible.
Okay, as the drivers start with their formation lap now. What an end to qualifying. Very exciting.
A 29.9 by Melvin Stubaka. I mean,
fantastic
what
lap.
could you ask for?
Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. And that's his career first pole position too, going into stats for that. So as part of the Transnation Formula 1 World Championship, that is Melvin's career first pole position now.
Well, had you told me that Ludwig and Sebastian would be P5 and 6, I wouldn't have believed you after qualifying, because you know, as we know, they're very, very fast drivers, but yeah. Ludwig obviously only went for the one run on the super softs, not sure why. Obviously wants to start on those tyres, maybe do the one stop, but Sebastian just couldn't get a final run together
And of course, we're also joined now, on the grid by Alex O'Connor, who came in a bit too late, but he's now on the grid in the Red Bull, so he'll be representing the boys, the Red Bull boys, as we commonly know them in the Transmission Formula 1 category. And of course, Matt and I are quite comfortably members of the Red Bull boys, of course, an association of the Red Bull partnership, which includes Toro Rosso Honda as well as Red Bull. But either way, we're just waiting for the cars now to line up on the grid, and I'll hand it over to Matt to get the start procedures underway. And in saying that, Melbourne's actually given a few seconds away to everyone else, so this could be costly.
Okay, so Brett, quickly, do you want to run through the starting grid today?
Okay, so we've got Melvin Stilbacher on career first pole position. He'll have Bailey Ford alongside him. Then we've got Josh Banks in the Williams alongside Eduardo Rogers, Ludwig Sell, Sebastian Spicer, Mark Donaldson, Amaral Azriel, Billy Booth, Connor Paisley, Matthew Alia, Eric Stavelson, Mark Bratby.
Alright, I'll just cut you off there. We're up to 4 red lights. And it's go! Oh, oh, is it go?
We've got to hold up.
Oh, there we go. Now we're off.
Oh, Billy Booth had a beautiful start out of position 11.
So did Bailey. He's gone to the front. Oh, it's contact in the first corner between now number 1 and 2. Bailey's just going to squeeze Melbourne off. Oh, he's recovered back onto the track. Kept it clean, pretty clean through there. Oh, up the inside goes Josh Banks on Melbourne. Trying to hang it around the outside. Back on the inside is contact. Oh, Josh takes that position away from Melvin. Up in the second. Melvin now comes under fire from Vardy. So he's not had the greatest start. He's dropped 3 places into 4th.
I have to say, where the hell did Alex O'Connor come from? He's gone from 15th up to 9th.
He might have jumped the start.
At one point he was up to 7th.
He possibly would have jumped the start, mate.
Hasn't seen anything on the race director. I'll have a quick flick of the race director and see if anyone has done anything.
Oh, Palsy up there, up inside of his teammate Sebastian through the quick right-hander.
And this will be set up unless Sebastian can hold around the outside. Sorry, I'm a bit gassy today. But beautiful move there by Connor Paisley. Definitely trying to show
Sebastian's dropped down. Oh, as Eduardo ran wide and lost the position as well. Oh no, he's recovered, sorry.
What can Connor do from here? Can he make a move up the inside of Eduardo?
Oh, he's been spun!
There's contact.
He's been spun. We're on board. Oh no, he's driving into traffic. Don't do that, please. Okay. Well, that was poor driving from...
It looked like to me that Amaral went up the inside of Sebastian, and then it looked like they both had contact, and then both cars inadvertently struck the back of Connor. So teammate into teammate, that's not good, but
back to the front we go. We're on board with Bailey Ford at the moment, who had a fantastic start from P2. He's now already a second up on Josh Banks, so he's out of the DRS range already on the second lap, and he looks like he's just going to waltz away with this, Brett.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, you got to look at the facts that the best runner on the Super Softs currently is in position 3. So once Woodford gets into that fresh air, he is going to push out fastest lap after fastest lap to try and push these cars. The next driver after him is Alex O'Connor in the Red Bull in P7. So he's coming under fire from Amaral. So I don't know what's going to happen there in the field of things. Oh, Sebastian up the inside of Eduardo coming into the fast right-hander. And he's got the job done, has he? Eduardo's going to try and hold it, but he gets it done. And incident sector 3, and it looks like it's... I don't know,
Mark.
someone's...
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened then.
So
there's battles all over the place. There's no one's really dropped too far out of the pack here. So we've had a pretty clean couple of first laps of the race. Everyone's still in touch. As Sebastian punches in the fastest lap so far, 1:34. Bailey's still with that lead of, it's up to 1.5 seconds now, so he's putting 5 tense on Josh every lap. Looked like a little track extend there, but Josh now coming under pressure from Ludwig, and Melvin and Sebastian both hanging on in that battle as well. So this could heat up very quickly.
And we've got a huge battle developing at the back of the field too.
As Barty goes up the inside of Josh into the chicane and gets the job done, Josh tries to come back with him, but no. Looks like Ludwig's got that move done, and Josh now, he'll be fighting Melvin going into the fast right-hander.
We've got a battle here developing between... Oh, here we go. We just had a change of position here. It's quite an angry pack here from position 9 up down to about position 14.
Well, we're just following the battle from second to fifth at the moment.
Mark Donaldson's had a spin coming into the fast right-hander before the three-way area. He just got on the curb, and that was all she wrote for the American Force India driver.
Oh, no. Oh, there he is. He spun again. Oh, his tyres must have heated up. He's off again. He'll need to pit.
Alex O'Connor's got a 3-second time penalty. Sebastian
Sebastian. Josh is in the pits, and so is Melvin.
So this is the two-stop strategy. So this is clearly two stops. So now let's see. Let's find. Let's go back.
See where they come out.
Well, they're going to be back in the pack, but I think. And it looks like Mark's had another spin as well. So
yeah,
he's had 3 spins in the space of a few seconds.
Once you have one spin, it's so hard to cool down
and
the tyres.
And he's done it again. Here we go again. He's done it at the penultimate, so he needs to pit.
He'll need to pit. Those tyres are done. So Josh and Melvin came out well behind everyone except Mark, actually, in P13 and 14. So that's how close the field is. No one except Mark, who's in the pits now, to change off those ruined tyres. He was going into the super softs, and away he goes.
Now the question is, I wonder who got damaged during that incident, because I did see a select few cars drive into Connor's car when he had that spin, but he's actually, I've got to say, Connor's recovered pretty well. He's now already right on the back of Matthew Ayler in the Toro Rosso, so a good recovery there so far.
And Brett, we're going to have a battle for the lead on this lap, as Ludwig has caught right up to the back of Bailey, and it's only 2 tenths. And Ludwig, of course, on the super softs, and Ballistic hasn't pitted. Sebastian dives into the pits. Oh, we're going to have a move to the lead
here. We go. Ludwig around the outside. Can he pull it off? Oh, he's... Great job, what a pass! As
Eduardo gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in pit lane, I believe. But Bailey, really, I'm not sure why he hasn't pitted. 2-stop optimal strategies to pit on lap 4, so he must have just been going for an extra lap. I think he might be in danger of the undercut here, though, Brett, from the drivers that have already pitted, like... Melvin and Josh, and now Sebastian as well.
And you've got to be careful.
But he's got DRS. He's got DRS.
He's going to try and do it around the outside. That's a long way.
He has. He's done it.
Oh, he's got it.
He's wrong line. No, he has to cut that corner. Have to redress. He
has, and that's going to cost him time.
It's more time lost for the McLaren driver. So I think if he's in the pits this lap, I think he's going to lose a couple of positions, actually, because...
Well, let's have a look. So the current driver, the first driver to make a pit stop under race conditions is Joshua Banks in P10, and he's 23 seconds behind. Now, I think the transit time between pit stops is about 25 seconds, so it could be close, but I think Bailey may have put a little bit too much emphasis on the idea of staying out that one extra lap. He should have probably came in.
Okay, let's see if he comes in. See if he comes in this lap. He's coming in.
So there's a few, and as we say that, Josh Banks has now just made a move on Matthew Ayler, as has, in fact, Matt is slowing down, so I wonder if he's just made a mistake and he's just recovering from it, but Matt having pretty reasonable race. He
Let's see if Josh gets out, passes, as Bailey coming out of the pits, and Josh has passed him easily. Oh, Melvin's had to take evasive action. It's very tricky at pit lane exit here. Oh, 3-second time penalty for Bailey, so that's a further loss.
But he's got the run on Melvin, so he's going to go up the inside at turn 3. Melvin gives him
track extended again. Yeah, so as I predicted, he has lost a couple of positions from staying out that one extra lap. As Sebastian picks up a penalty, who's right on the tail of Bailey.
I was watching him do that. That one was quite blatantly obvious. So, but he'll have the DRS on Melvin
Bailey
here.
has DRS. Oh,
Melvin goes highly defensive.
Oh God, he was all over the place, and I think that was. Oh, is there going to be contact?
Oh, how did they get away with that one?
Yeah. Good move by Bailey, takes that position back, so that's effective P3, I believe, for Bailey.
Now, someone that we've been kind of ignoring at the moment that's currently up the order now is Mark Bratby in P4 on the soft tyre. So once the top 3 pit under their normal conditions, which will be roughly about lap 12, Mark will take the lead, and I think he'll be projected in about lap 18 if he started on those softs.
I don't think Mark will ever get to the lead, but Ludwig just checking out here. He's got a 10-second lead already. He's on the one-stop strategy, looking very pacey, as Alex gets a 3-second penalty for
So let's just have a look at this, because I can't imagine there's many people left that haven't got a warning penalty. So we've got Alex O'Connor with a 3-second penalty.
What's going on here? 3-second time penalty. Oh, Jenier Bond's been spun. And he's dropped about 5 places, I believe. So his tyres will be burning up right now. He just needs to try and tiptoe around and cool them down. Yeah, he's
probably just testing the limit a little bit. Emerald's now made the move on him. I'll just have a quick check while you just carry on. I'll just have a quick check on Discord.
Something must happen to Bailey as well, Brett, because he's dropped down to 10th. Eduardo's passed him, and Bailey trying to get back up the inside of Eduardo. But yeah, so I think Bailey must have got caught up in the incident with his teammate. He's dropped right off. He was ahead of Melvin and Josh, and now it's Sebastian who leads Melvin and Josh from in 6th, 7th and 8th places. So yeah, Bailey's rotten luck continues for this race, unfortunately. As Sebastian goes around the outside of Collar, I'm not sure what that driver's name is, so apologies for that.
Sorry, which one?
Mercedes driver.
That's Eric Steinenson.
Okay.
I don't know the last name off the top of my head. I still need to memorise it.
He hasn't pitted yet. It looks like Melvin's trying to pass him into turn 1. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, it gives him plenty of room there. 3-second time penalty for Josh.
The Banks on the
so next
as well. So
next to catch
people left without them.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Here's a battle here. Bailey Ford about to make a move, try and make a move on Rogers. And
Rojas.
This is coming into the Rojas or something like that. If you watch it back on this, Eduardo, please feel free to give us a pronunciation of your last name. But Ford now
it's definitely Rojas.
Looking to make the move here, and he's gonna.
He's got a DRS. He'll bump it up to. Yeah, no, he didn't actually. He only had the ERS in medium, which is probably why I struggled to get that done.
And he gets a time penalty for his trouble. So, pushing a little. Maybe he feels a bit frustrated that he allowed himself to be undercut by the other drivers. Sebastian's actually gotten past Melvin through all of this. I didn't catch that one. So Bailey's been the biggest loser of this group. The biggest winner so far is definitely Alex O'Connor. He's been super consistent. He's got a 1.1 second gap over Billy Booth, who's now coming under attack from...
Oh, Sebastian puts in the fastest lap, 1:34.
So as you can see, the super soft runners are now starting to see the best of their tyres, and Mark is going to take advantage of this being on reasonably. I mean, they've all done the same laps. You can't ignore that. But the fact is that Mark is running the soft, hardest compound, so his tyres are going to start coming alive while these guys' tyres are starting to drop off the cliff. So he's right on the back of Billy Booth, who had probably one of the best starts out of the whole field. Had to actually try and, the only thing that opposed him was that he had to go on the outfield to try and go around one of the cars that didn't look like it got off the grid really well. So here we go. So, and that's Bailey Ford going past the second Mercedes. So 2 Mercedes overtaken in the space of 1 lap. Yeah. Same corner too. So Bailey's on a charge trying to get back onto the back of Josh Banks and hopefully get that position back. So let's see, the gap between Sebastian and Ludwig is currently 15 seconds.
Yeah, 15 seconds, yeah.
So he won't, if we're looking at the times...
Oh, is Alex O'Connor, both Alex O'Connor and Bouger are in the pits. Oh, they've ghosted into each other.
Now this is interesting. Who's going to have the win? Is it Ferrari versus 3-4 in the spot? Alex got howled.
Gone onto the ultra softs. That must have been an error, surely.
Yeah, could be. But Alex got held massively in that. It looked like it was a glitch because he just got held in that a lot longer than he should have. And there was definitely no 5-second stop-go penalty, so the game's actually robbed Alex of a bit of time there. Now, where have they rejoined? They've come out behind.
So now that's everyone except our 2 front runners, Ludwig and Mark, and our 8th place Koala and Genia Bond. They're the only 4 remaining drivers yet to make a pit stop at this stage.
And in saying that too, just thinking...
Mark up 11 places on those soft tyres.
I think, just looking at the gaps...
Oh, sector 2 yellow, what do we got?
That's Alex O'Connor.
Alex O'Connor. Oh, he's had a spin on those new soft tyres, so hopefully those...
That's just coming onto the back straight. That's interesting. Although not entirely impossible to do, but it's very unusual.
The telemetry says he's on soft tyres yet. When I look at his car, the tyres are red, so I'm not sure whether he's on the super softs or the softs.
And your misconception too, because Billy Booth has actually come out on the ultras, not the supers.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said ultras, yeah.
So that's...
Yeah,
I think maybe Billy was initially wanting to do that. Maybe they've changed strategy at Ferrari. Maybe they've just elected to do a 2-stop. Now Bailey's just made a move on Josh Banks, so Bailey on a surge.
Wow, what's happened to Josh? Because Bailey was way back from Josh. But Bailey's pace has been excellent. He just needs to stay out of trouble and stop track extending as
I'm looking at the gap now. Bailey has actually got the undercut on Ludwig at this point. So Ludwig will come out behind Bailey in the next stop. Of course, Bailey has to make another stop, but this could pay right into Bailey's hands if Ludwig comes out behind him.
See if Josh can hang with Bailey as well.
We've just lost.
We've had a retirement.
Eric.
Oh, we missed that, unfortunately.
Let's see. Where have we lost him? There we go. No, that's not good. Where have we lost him? Now, Alex has come back into the pit lane and he's put on a set of
there he is.
Supers, so...
Not sure what happened there. He was just sitting on the exit of... I'm not sure what corner it is, but...
Oh, there we go. There we go, just coming out of just heading into the far straight, so...
Yeah.
That's an interesting location. I can't imagine that he's lost...
I've just been keeping an eye on the interval between first and second. Looks like Mark has actually let Sebastian through, so we've got Sebastian in P2 now. So I wonder how quickly he'll make inroads on that gap to our leader in the Force India
It's already
Ludwig.
dropped the second, in the space of your sentence, it's already dropped the second, so
Yeah.
Ludwig's either looking after his car in preparation to make the dock, because this is now the pit window for the super soft runners, whether Ludwig is just backing off, saving some ERS so that he can punch out a fast lap on the, I would imagine he's going to go on the softs, because if you go anything lower than that, then you're just asking for trouble, but...
Lap 12 of 27 now, so heading towards half race distance. Yeah, next couple of laps. What do you think so far, Brett? Who's in a good position?
I think personally at the moment Ludwig could be the beneficiary, of course, being on the one stop where everyone else is on the two stop, and his qualifying time was definitely the best of the super soft runners to start P5, so he's definitely made the most of it, and you know, to surge his way up to the front on those super soft tyres when everyone was just kind of dying away on the ultras was a good strategy, and he's now coming in as we say this, so he's coming in now to take his stop, so Sebastian will take the lead of the race in 5 seconds. He managed to chop it down. I reckon if he stayed out that extra lap he might have actually ended up being overtaken before he came in, so...
Pivotal moment in the race this, with Ludwig pitting, of course, going onto the soft tyres with the one stop.
Bailey's got him hands down.
See where he comes out.
He'll be hard pressed. He might come out behind Eduardo.
Oh, Josh is overtaking. No, he's comfortably ahead of Eduardo. So he's came out in P6, which is not too bad for the one stop.
But critically, he is ahead of Billy Booth, who is actually Billy Booth kind of condemned his strategy by going on the ultras, so...
Oh, and we're just on the broadcast, Brett, we're just following Ludwig, and his tyres are flashing red and yellow, swapping between the super soft and soft tyres, so
yeah, you'll come to notice that quite a bit coming.
He's got some disco tyres on at the moment. They're flashing all over the place.
But don't be fooled, people. He is on the soft tyres.
He is on the soft tyres.
Genia Bond has now also come in. So Genia Bondarenko now finally in. He's on the soft tyres as well. So you can now see the difference in strategy starting to kind of take place. Of course, actually, so Genia comes out comfortably ahead of Alex O'Connor, and Mark Donaldson's on the surge. And Matthew Alia, we haven't talked much about him. He's doing a good job and currently in P11, just outside the points. Came to me earlier this week and said he didn't feel like he was comfortable in the position to be in the category, but he's doing a good job. He's improving by the day, and he's probably in a P11 position, so he's doing quite well.
Yeah. Just still following Ludwig since his pit stop. I think he's right on the back of Josh Banks already. He's got Josh Banks into the pits, so for his second stop. So yeah, no pass needed there by Ludwig.
So the interesting thing I found is that with Ludwig's strategy,
Josh needs a new front wing, so there must have been contact with another driver at some point. He's gone for the fresh wing, so that's cost him the better part of.
Oh, here we go. We've got a battle here between Amaral Asriup and Billy Booth. I can't. Oh, Billy's gonna drift it around, but Amaral looks like I think Amaral looked like he might have felt like he was responsible for that, and so he's given the position up. But that was a bit dicey there for a minute there. But
so Josh rejoins the race in 10th place, so he's lost quite a bit of time. He's now 9 seconds off 9th place, so he'll go to the end on those soft tyres. Hopefully he stays out of trouble, but I think that might be his podium challenge over. Head back,
unless of course we get unless we have a safety car or someone has an off or something like that. Just keeping an eye on the gaps between Bailey and Ludwig at the moment. It's stable at about 6 seconds, but of course the top 3, well the top 4 actually still have to make a stop. Of course, and it looks like Mark Donaldson's disconnected, so his AI will track along. Hopefully that'll.
Oh, as Ceremony dives into the pits with his second stop.
So a lot of drivers showing the different strategies now. Ludwig should. Yep, so he's on the softs as well, so he's keeping to his strategy now. He's going to come out behind
He's gone soft
he'll
as
come out
well.
in eighth.
Interesting. He mustn't have had him and Josh mustn't have had a second set of super softs because they've both come fitted onto the soft tyres. So optimal two-stop race would be, of course, starting on the ultra soft tyre that you qualify on, and then going on to 2 sets of super soft. So
ideally the idea behind it sounds right, but when you've got 12 laps to go and the supers can only make 12 laps, you don't really want to be in a position where you're putting you have nothing left at the end of the race. So going on the softs is not a bad idea. Now
we've got a little battle.
Under attack.
Got a little battle happening here with Bouger coming up on the back of Eduardo here, just exiting the chicane. And also, Amural's not too far off this battle as well, just a second back. So this could heat up. It's probably the closest on-track battle we have at the moment, so we'll just follow these guys. Eduardo having a pretty solid race so far. He's on 10-lap old super soft tyres, so I wonder if he'll be pitting in the next couple of laps.
Sebastian's in.
Sebastian in for his stop.
So that now puts Mark Ratby finally in the lead of the race. Ludwig does the fastest lap of the race of 34.2.
Very impressed with Mark, just quietly. Yeah, having a solid run today.
Good strategy, and he had a pretty good strategy going for him in Bahrain. Pretty much kind of the same strategy as he's running now, except he made a mistake at the double left-hander and broke his front wing, and then tried to take a set of super to the end, which was about 15 laps, and that ended up putting him in the fence and out of the race. But he's trying the strategy again. It looks like he's keeping on to it. He's got Bailey now with the watching brief, and the gap between Bailey and Ludwig has dropped quite substantially by 3 seconds. So Ludwig now putting the pressure onto the effective race leader. Now someone's gone off at sector 3.
So, Sebastian on the optimal two-stop strategy that I mentioned before with the 2 sets of super soft tyres. So, he's 8.3 seconds off our one stop in Ludwig with 11 laps to go. So, there's quite the gap to reel in. He's on the fresher, quicker tyre. So, we'll just keep an eye on that lap times and gap between those two drivers, because that could be a battle if Sebastian does catch up to Ludwig.
And just to cut
and Bailey's in the pits. Bailey's in for his second stop. How's his Mark? Mark's in for his one and only stop.
We've got a move here. Oh, Billy tried to make a move up the inside. Oh, they're both coming in now, so they're going to take that battle to the pits. Oh,
a lot of drivers. We've got a lot of pit lane action right at the moment. So Amiral takes P3. Mark's
that's
gone
right. Eduardo had a 5-second stop. Go to the serve.
So both Bailey and Mark on fresh tyres, fresh super softs by the look of it. Mark just got a penalty, unfortunately. So P5 and P6 at the moment.
Just having a look at the race director, only 2 drivers right now don't have penalties, and that's race leader Ludwig and then Matthew Alia in P13.
Oh, Mark's got the disco tyres happening as well. Red, yellow.
Bailey's also got... Bailey looks like he's just got a faster car in the straight line, whereas Mark's car looks like it's more set up to be...
Yeah, Bailey's gone trying to pass him around the outside into the chicane. Mark holds position though.
Mark was a little bit greedy on that, but he did kind of squeeze Bailey off the circuit just a little bit. Not too much of a catastrophic drama, but just enough to be a bit unsettling.
I fancy Bailey to get this move done pretty quickly, to be honest.
I would say, he's going to try and do around the outside. Yeah, this could get done if he's got the grip.
He just needs to be a little bit more patient and let the opportunity come to him.
Exactly, he'll have DRS on the main straight, and that's...
You don't really want to be forcing moves around the outside, as Sebastian has cut 2 seconds off Barty's lead already. So that's going to be a battle for the lead in about 4 or 5 laps time for sure. As we're still watching Mark and Bailey down the main straight.
And a Murrell's now in, so that's going to put them up position too. So P4 and 5 and Mark during that still held
Mark's
position.
run horribly wide on the exit of turn 2. Bailey couldn't capitalise, but he's right up on the gearbox of the Williams.
Oh, Bailey with a bit of a tank slapping slide coming out of turn 4, just had to try and correct the car from its slide, and now we'll see what the runners as Eduardo gets another penalty. So penalties, we're going to see a lot of this over the weekend, not just here. We're going to see a lot of it in F1 and F2, no doubt.
Bailey's got it up into overtake. He's got DRS, but Mark shows him the outside and holds the position well again. So very impressed with Mark in this race. He's been defending, like racing cleanly, but defending really well as well, holding the inside.
And these two are obvious. Oh, Bailey
goes around the outside.
Ooh.
Clean move, well done.
You don't see that too often.
No.
And
he gets
it seems to be a trend now. Every time he makes a good move around someone, he always ends up getting a penalty for it. So it's almost like the stewards are thinking, nah, that's too cool, I'm penalising you for that one. And Mark Donaldson again with another disconnection. So it looks like internet connections are playing games with him.
Mark's just coming back at Bailey a little bit at the moment. So let's see if this can go tit for tat, or whether Bailey might stretch the lead, his gap out a little bit. Didn't like Mark got DRS. Oh yes, he did get DRS. And
Bailey's car definitely looks built for straight line speed, because it just pulls away from the Williams, which you don't get hit too often.
Yeah. And Ludwig has responded to Sebastian's challenge at the front of the race here. The gap's now 7.1 seconds, so I believe Sebastian had it down to about 5.9, and now it's gone to 7.2. So yeah, Sebastian obviously pushing those super softs hard early to make inroads on that gap, and maybe they're kind of the tyre life hasn't lasted. So yeah, maybe you'll have to set up the P2
Mark has
here.
just gotten back past Bailey, so down in the chicane, so it looked like Mark must have had a good run and just got up the inside where it counted. So these two having a real good ding-dong battle. The only issue in this is that they're going to lose time to third place Melbourne, and possibly at some given point in time give Josh Banks a sniff of this battle, but of course he's quite a fair bit back. So Josh, I suppose with the front wing change, has cost him a bit of time, but you know, I was expecting a bit more fight out of this young New Zealander, but obviously the front wing didn't put pay to that. And
yeah, we didn't catch what happened.
Booth has done a good job today.
He has. Let's see if
and you know, despite the spin, Connor Paisley up P10, so he's going to get some points out of this. In the field of the current F3 battlers, it will be Billy Booth with the official race win.
Warning. This battle between Bailey and Mark could be the battle of who actually has the least penalties in the end, because they're both track extending quite a bit and picking up penalties on the regular. So just riding on board with Bailey at the moment.
And that's the other thing too we've got to think about in that battle between Ludwig and Sebastian, is that Ludwig doesn't have penalties.
There's a disconnected car getting in the way, and Bailey has to run wide on his entrance to the straight, and he takes out one of the advertising hoardings straight through the foam advertising.
That's going to be a hate crime on that. That's going to be considered a hate crime there, but...
So we apologise to that sponsor, but you know,
I think it was Rolex. It might not be a big deal if it was Rolex.
But he hasn't lost too much time, crucially, on Mark. He's still within 300s, right on the back of him, going.
He's gonna try again. He always. I don't know whether he's trying to make a move. Oh, he got the.
Mark had a terrible exit.
In fact, it's.
This could. He's still trying to defend. It's side by side, and I think Bailey's got the inside there. Mark will have to concede the position and have to go again.
Interesting here at the last turn. Let's see what happens here. Does Mark try and fling the car up there? Oh my God, he actually had a thought about it, and now
all there's yellow flags up ahead.
1 and 3. I think it's Alex O'Connor. Yeah, something's wrong with Alex's car. He's slowing down. She's coming to a stop. Could this be a mechanical
hope he gets
error?
out of the way.
It looks like He's off the racing line, but yeah.
As Mark and Bailey pass him.
Oh, he's stuck in gear.
Oh no. Just to go back to the lead of the race for a second, Sebastian has again made another challenge, taken a second off, so his gap's down to 6 seconds. Still 6 laps to go, so he'll need to shave off a second a lap on Ludwig to challenge for the race win here. So Ludwig looking pretty comfortable at the moment. Sebastian's super soft laps are 5 laps old now, so they'd be getting maybe pace-wise pretty even with Ludwig's softs, which are 8 laps old, so wouldn't be much difference between the pace of the two drivers as far as grip levels go. But still, the only real battle on track is this one between Bailey and Mark has actually dropped off a bit this lap, unfortunately. He's down to 1.3 seconds on Bailey, so Bailey looks like he's out of the DRS range. But I think he's probably too far back to challenge for a podium position. 10-second gap to Ceremony at the moment, so the top 3 look like they have the podium places locked up, but yeah, penalties might come into it. We'll see what happens there. Lead at the top down to 5.3 seconds now.
But you got to remember that Sebastian has now about 6 or 9 seconds worth of penalties. So even if he does get past Ludwig, he has to try and make 9 seconds, and there's not enough laps to catch him, much less pass him and make that time. So I think Sebastian's going to have to concede the idea of P2 at the moment. He's got enough gap to hold on to P2 with Melbourne 15 seconds behind the leader, and that would be about 10 seconds behind. Although Sebastian
Bailey outbrakes himself. He's had to go through the straight at the chicane, so he's given up the place to Mark. So he just missed his braking point, Bailey, and he's had to go straight on at the chicane, so that's cost him about 4 seconds, I'd wager.
Now this could be an interesting battle here, because I think Connor Paisley and Genia about to... Yeah, so now Genia actually now moves up into the points position with Connor Paisley coming in, but Connor's now on the freshest super softs and should be able to... Actually, hang on, that's a bit of a... I don't know if that's a glitch or not, but it looks like here that Connor's come out on 10 lap used super soft tyres. So unless he thought he had a set of super softs and then now has found out that he doesn't, I think Connor's made a mistake in his pit stop. But
sorry, which driver's Connor?
C Paisley 096 in P11.
Oh yeah, okay, thank you.
So it looks like he's come out on, either this is a glitch on our end, or he's come out on worn super softs after a pit stop. And so realism, Mark Wilson's back in. He now knows how to get back into his car, hopefully.
So this battle between Mark and Bailey is back on again, and Bailey just 3 tenths behind to see if he'll have DRS going into the long straight and see if Mark
and these guys are probably in party chat themselves, and I'd say that Bailey is probably filthy with himself.
Yeah, Bailey's going around the outside pretty comfortably here, so I don't think Mark hasn't put up too much of a fight, or he tried to hold the inside, but Bailey got that one done.
And whatever the issue with Alex O'Connor is, it looks like he's resolved it, because he's now trundling along. He's just got himself another penalty, so that gearing issue, which I think happened to him in F2 China, plaguing him yet again. But the gap between Ludwig and Sebastian now 4 seconds, as Ludwig is now actually starting to catch the top 10, so they're about to lap up to 10th now if Ludwig doesn't get held up too badly in this. I would imagine that they'll get out of the way as quickly as possible. And oh, there we go, there's Beardy's first mistake of the race, so a 3-second time penalty there, and I would imagine he would have had... It looked like Connor didn't quite get out of the way quickly enough.
Yeah, coming up to lap cars now, so gap of the front is now 4.1 seconds, so it's not out of realms of possibility that we could have a fight for the lead before the race is over. But as you say, I think
but Sebastian has to get through this traffic as well.
Yeah.
You can just see Sebastian on the back of... Oh, Connor almost actually drilled the back of Ludwig's car. Just outbraked himself just a bit. And we've got a bit of a... I wouldn't say it's a battle, but... looks like Alex O'Connor has actually got onto the back of this battling duo of Bailey and Mark, and looks like he wants to actually try and unlap himself. So... he's going to go for a move here. He's actually... This is going to get... Oh, and he's hit.
Oh, it's by Mark. Oh, there's contact. Oh, no. That's horrible for Mark's race. Oh, no.
Oh, that was never going to work. That,
Alex definitely in the wrong there, I'd say.
No, he definitely went for a move that didn't pay off, and it's... Initially, it looked like Mark was actually going to catch it, and then obviously must have auto-corrected.
There's more yellow flags out in Sector 2, so what do we got here? Oh!
Yeah, Alex is just trying to get himself back in the water and probably...
Oh, he's trying to crash out. Okay, that's... He's, Oh!
And there he goes, straight off. But surprisingly, he's still in it. And now he's just taking the easy way out. So, yeah, that's probably going to be looked at, but I don't... Considering that Mark is not in it for championship position, nor is Alex, I don't think there's going to be anything more than licensing points taken away from.
Yeah, I mean it's a shame for Mark though. He was having a pretty clean race, so for a lapped car to try and unlap himself and try and put one down the inside on him and spin him.
In one battle. The thing about it too is that in one battle that it's lost, another one could be gained
with Josh.
And the fact that look who's right behind him.
His teammate, yeah, and no doubt Mark will have wing damage as well. The front left looks okay. I can't get a glimpse at his front right, but it looked like there was some damage when there was contact with Alex's car. So, but yeah, you're right. Josh will catch him pretty quickly. We've actually got a battle here for 10th place with Connor and Jenia Bond as well heating up. It's a second between those guys.
I would actually say that Connor, it looks like Connor's made that move. So despite being on 13 lap old softs, super soft, which are actually about the same lap of numbers used by current race leader Ludwig on the softs.
As he gets a penalty.
But 13 lap old super softs, and he's managed to make a move on Jenia, who's subsequently on about the same amount of laps on softs.
Josh has overtaken Mark as we were following that little battle.
Yeah. And Connor's just made a huge mistake into turn 4 and has actually just looked like he ran out of brakes. And
Mark's pitting. Mark's pitting. He must have too much wing damage. Oh, okay, he was teleporting for a second, but yeah, it looks like that wing damage is too much. It was only 2 laps to go though, so it must be bad. Maybe he's going for the fastest lap here.
Well, he is on the Ultra, so that could be a possibility. But he's only going to have 1 lap to do it, and he actually... No, he's definitely got position 9.
He's given up a lot of positions to
pit there. Given it up! He's given it up!
Oh, what's he done?
He's called it quits.
Oh, that's a shame. He was having such a good race. That's very frustrating. Yeah. Must be frustrating for him.
That's actually going to promote Connor back up into the points, despite the huge mistake. Unless now something interesting has happened here because Matthew Elliott has dropped 4 laps.
Ooh.
So unless something's happened there, I don't know. But either way, we're starting the final lap now. 3.6 seconds to get between Ludwig Sell and Sebastian Spicer.
On the final lap.
You've got to say though, this is going to be...
Let's just follow Ludwig on his final lap here, and it's been, I wouldn't say utter domination, but it's been strategic domination is how I'd put it. He knew he was one of the fastest drivers, if not the fastest driver in qualifying. He only went out for the single run on the super soft tyres and managed to qualify in the top 5. And with the one-stop strategy in mind, and that has absolutely came off for him. He stayed out of trouble. He hasn't had a lot of challenges to deal with. He's ran a pretty clean race. So hats off to Ludwig. He's as he's weaving around the track, he's celebrating pretty early. But it has been a fantastic race for the Swedish driver.
And of course, this will also be his first career win in the Trans Nation Formula 1, so this will be a huge outpouring of emotions for not only himself, but for Force India. Of course, let's not forget Force India, the Constructors Champions of what was originally GP2, so it's going to be a great day for him and Force India today.
Yeah, he is a full-time F3 driver, of course, so it's good to see an F3 driver actually take the win. As he enters the final corner, Ludwig Zhao is the winner of round 2 of Trans Nation Formula F3 category, with Sebastian crossing the line 6 seconds back after his penalties, I believe, in second place, the F2 driver. But congratulations to Ludwig, solid drive. And Cerami crosses the line for the final podium position in P3. We've got Bailey entering the final straight. He'll take P4.
So we've just
Josh
seen Ludwig
as well
cross the line to take the win, but the outright F3 winner today is going to be Billy Booth. So Billy Booth will cross the line.
Isn't Ludwig F3 though?
No, sorry about that. No, sorry. So Billy will actually take effective P2.
Effective P2,
in the points battle, and then Eduardo will take Eduardo P2. Genia Bondarenko will actually take effective P3, though there's quite a bit of interesting thing going on here between who is it? It's Ludwig, Sebastian, and one of the other cars, but unfortunately we won't be doing podium interviews for this one because of course we are live streaming this event. So,
yeah, we can get it. We can get him in the party, can't we?
Oh yeah, of course we can. What are we?
I'll invite him. Hang on. As we watch the podium celebrations there, solid drive from those three. I would have liked to have seen a battle for the lead. It's unfortunate that didn't happen, but anyway, solid drive. Invite. Sebastian. I don't have well, how do I view suggested? View suggested players, body, so well. Okay, hopefully we can get these boys in the chat for the podium interviews. There you can see. There we go, Sebastian.
And we've got Ludwig here, so Ludwig Zhao, congratulations, you are now officially a Trans Nation Formula 1 World Championship race winner. You must be overwhelmed with that, and of course bringing Force India's first win since Stefan Naumburger back in GP3 Malaysia. No, Brazil, sorry, Brazil. So congratulations, must be thrilled.
Yeah, thank you. It was a pretty good race, I guess.
You must have been, Ludwig, you must have been pretty confident qualifying on the super soft tyres, just going for the one run in qualifying. So had you like track extended or something like that, you would have been starting from the back. So pressure was on for that lap. Must have been a good one.
Yeah, you know, I already knew that I was gonna nail one lap. I've been practicing pretty much, and yeah, I just knew that I could get in a pretty good lap.
Nice. So we got our second place driver in the party chat as well, Sebastian. Pretty good race from you. Wasn't the greatest of starts. Yeah, how did you see the race? Hello, are you there, Sebastian?
Nope.
Maybe we'll come back to him when he's available.
Come back
so,
oh, there he is. Get that mute off, mate. Yeah, solid drive in P2 though, mate.
It was a bit aggressive. It looked like it was quite aggressive at the first point. Like every driver was just kind of battling for sheep stations at that point, and penalties were just getting flung out left, right, and centre. So just knowing that, and of course, unless Jeff was telling you about your penalties and whatnot up front, of course, Ludwig didn't get one till pretty much near the end of the race. How much did you feel like you needed a push if you felt like with your penalties being in play?
Oh, I didn't really know how many we had penalties, so I was pushing as hard as I could just to try and pass to try and extend the race anyway.
Well, thanks for your time there, Sebastian. We'll move now to Melvin Stulbaka. Melvin, your start was a bit lacking compared to the likes of Bailey Ford, but you at least can walk away this weekend knowing that you've taken your career first pole position. So that must be something to at least look at today. And despite, of course, not being an official F3 driver, just being an invitational from the F1, which is a very rare instance and probably won't be seen too much. But yeah, career first pole position must feel pretty good. No, Melvin. Melvin, are you muted? Yeah, I think.
Yeah, his mic has some problems on the PlayStation.
Okay, well, we'll just leave it at that then.
That
So,
might
Matt,
be
if you
it.
want to wrap things up.
Yeah, thanks for watching the first ever Transnation Formula One live broadcast on YouTube. So first for our community. So yeah, hope those who watch it and watch it back enjoy it. It's been fun to do. Had some pretty good racing in this F3 category. So congratulations to our drivers today. Yeah, and we'll see you next time.
And of course, we do. When we hit Catalonia for round 5 of the official Transnation Formula 1 Challenge, but round 3 for the F3. And yeah, hopefully we'll see more people and more competition. So thanks for watching, guys.